One cold and stormy night, a man named Jack was driving home through a dark, lonely road. The trees on both sides swayed like ghostly hands, and the wind howled like a monster in the night. As Jack drove, his headlights suddenly flashed on something. A person. A girl stood at the side of the road, her long white dress blowing in the wind. She looked cold, she looked lost. Jack slowed down and rolled down his window. "Do you need a ride?" he asked. The girl nodded. Her face was pale like the moon, her eyes large and sad. She spoke so softly, it sounded like a whisper in the wind. "Please, take me home." Jack opened the car door and she slipped inside. She was shivering. Her hands were like ice. As he drove, Jack glanced at her in the rearview mirror. She sat still, looking out the window. "What's your name?" he asked. "Lillian." Her voice was barely there, like it was floating in the air. Jack noticed something strange. Even though the car heater was on, she was still shivering. Her dress looked old, like it was from another time. And was she wet? Her hair dripped with water. Jack shook the thought away. Maybe it was just the rain outside. "Where do you live?" he asked. She gave him an address. It was not too far, just at the edge of town, but as they drove, something felt wrong. Jack's hands tightened on the steering wheel. The air in the car got colder. The radio made a strange static noise. He looked in the mirror again. She was gone. Jack slammed on the brakes. The car skidded on the wet road. His heart was pounding. "What just happened?" he gasped. He turned and looked in the back seat. Empty. His hands trembled. His mind raced. Had she jumped out? Was she ever really there? Jack took a deep breath. Maybe she got scared and ran. Maybe he was just tired. He decided to go to the address she had given him. The house was old, with vines crawling up the walls. A single light glowed in the window. Jack hesitated, but finally knocked on the door. An old woman answered. Her eyes were heavy with sadness. "Can I help you?" she asked. Jack swallowed. "I just gave a girl named Lillian a ride, but she disappeared. She said she lived here." The woman's face went pale, her lips trembled. That's not possible." Jack's heart pounded. "Why?" The woman stepped back, her voice shook. "Lillian was my daughter. She died 10 years ago." Jack felt his knees go weak. "No, I just saw her. She sat in my car," he insisted. The woman's eyes filled with tears. "People say they see her. They pick her up, but she never makes it home." Jack's hands felt cold. He turned to run back to his car, but something caught his eye. A small white cloth on the porch. A piece of Lillian's dress. And it was wet. The wind whistled through the trees, carrying a soft, sad whisper. "Please, take me home."